Good evening. Welcome to Live in Conversation. I am your host, Daphnée Reneé Antoine. I am an entrepreneur. I am live in conversation with a special guest, Cyndee Newman, founders of Daughters of Haiti of Chicago, which is a non-for-profit organization bringing awareness of the Haitian culture in the Chicagoland area. Cyndee, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great, doing wonderful. Thank you for having me here today.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being here. So, Cyndee was actually our guest last week when we did a showcase, I guess a holiday show showcasing the Haitian organization in the Chicagoland area. So, I thought that it would be important to bring her back because last time she only had 5 minutes to talk with us. And then, so maybe today we'll talk a little bit more about, who she is, what she does, and like the mission of Daughters of Haiti and the vision for it. And as well as we're gonna talk about a little bit about maybe leadership and collaboration, especially in the Haitian community, and how we can come together and thrive together. So
Awesome.
all right. So Daphnée is gonna be coming. So I know you all know this show is having conversation with Daphnée Camilien from Camilien Law. She'll be with us shortly. But at this time, I'd like Cyndee maybe to introduce herself, and then we'll start from there.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you again. So, again, my name is Cyndee Newman, and I am one of the founders and the executive director for Daughters of Haiti Chicago. We are, as Reneé mentioned, a not for profit 501c3 organization here in the Chicagoland area. We were founded with a mission to serve the Haitian community, but differently than many others do. It is about bringing cultural awareness and delighting in femininity. You know, it is about the women of Haitian descent, first and second generation Haitian American women, and just kind of getting back in touch with our roots. Quite often, we start to assimilate into the American communities, and as we do that, we get further and further away from our Haitian roots. And our Haitian roots are so beautiful. We have an amazing people and an amazing culture. And it's important for our children, our daughters in turn, to know and to understand that culture and to know about our history. So that's who we are in a nutshell. And that's why we were founded. Myself, I am the firstborn of three girls from Haitian parents. So both of my parents are from the Port-au-Prince area. And I was born in the Chicago area, Mercy Hospital. Shout out to Mercy Hospital, where many Haitian Americans were born, right? That were born here, and grew up in the western suburbs of Chicago. And that's who I am. I have amazing children. I have three of my own and a bonus daughter also. So I'm the proud mother of four, and just, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being with us again, Cyndee. I appreciate that. I'm sure that you're gonna add so much value to this conversation as we come to know of who you are and what Daughters of Haiti is. And so I wanted to maybe get your point of view. It's like what was your mindset or your mind like the reason behind Daughters of Haiti? What was the lack that you found that was there that you wanted to provide the solution to through Daughters of Haiti?
Well, there were a couple of things that I found. One was fellowship, just being able to be around Haitian women and doing things together for the community, whether the community be locally or abroad. So that was one of the biggest things that I saw that I felt that there was a need for, right? Just to kind of come together. The second part is to educate our daughters specifically. So it's an organization that's geared for the young women as well. And I thought that there was a need for that. There are a lot of amazing organizations that do a lot of good work in the community, but I didn't see necessarily a focus on us, right? On developing our culture, developing our language, understanding our history, and teaching that and learning that, and also doing good in the community as well. So as a result, Daughters of Haiti has 4 founding pillars. Which is pretty neat because those four founding pillars allow us to be able to not only serve the community, but also preserve the culture and sustain it, and to just pass it on to the next generation and the one after that as well. And those four pillars, are fellowship, scholarship, public service, and education. Recently, we held a higher education fair that featured 7 different universities as well as colleges in the Chicagoland area, and it was focused for our youth, right? So the admission counselors from all of these universities were able to come on and tell us a bit more about their programs, their scholarship opportunities, their admission standards, when our children need to apply to college, and things that we don't always know as first generation children, and that our parents may not necessarily know, or we as parents may not necessarily know. We don't always know that there are quite a few scholarship opportunities. We don't know how much money is out there for us to be able to afford college. And we thought it was important to meet that educational pillar, to be able to bring all of these universities together to talk to us. So that's one of the things that we focus on and highlight. And in terms of the fellowship, one of the other key events for the Daughters of Haiti is the Mothers and Daughters Luncheon. It will be an annual event. This year we held it virtually, which was actually pretty neat, by the way, because of COVID. You know, you can't bring a group of people together. So we figured out a way to bring people together through the internet. And what we were able to do is we had a chef, a celebrity chef from Haiti, who owns Nago, which is a sushi restaurant in Haiti. And she came on and taught us how to make a quick Haitian meal. So we had some griot, some rice and beans, some plantains, a very quick weeknight meal. Normally that's not a weeknight meal because normally that takes a long time, but she was able to share with us some hacks, how to take a few shortcuts and do that. And then we were able to sit down with, once we were all together, so everyone was in their separate kitchens at home via Zoom, cooking their meals together with the Haitian chef. And then we had a clinical psychologist, Dr. Natanya Montez, Haitian American also, which was amazing, that talked to us about generational relationships amongst women and all of the dynamics that come with that. So we had some interaction, we had some questions from the group. Everyone who was in their own separate kitchens had an opportunity to do some activities that were thought-provoking, as well as the discussion as well. So that's how we were able to incorporate the Mothers and Daughters Luncheon this year. So that's another one of our key events as well. The other thing that we're looking to do in 2021, we've already started that project, is our debutante ball. Now, this is especially for our girls, and we're very excited about that because the girls will have an opportunity. It's a 6-month program for them where they do learn about their culture. They do public service work, which is what we are all about, is serving our community. And then they are presented to the Haitian American Society in a beautiful gala ball. So
that is amazing. That's a lot, but then at the same time, it's focused and it has a purpose.
Yes.
And then so I see great things happening with it, and I'll definitely be asking you more questions and specific regarding it. So at this time, I want to bring back our co-host, the lovely Daphnée Camilien. Let me put it this way, who is joining us. Hello, everyone. How you are doing? Welcome to Live in Conversation. So I have a special co-host guest, Cyndee Newman from Daughters of Haiti of Chicago, who she was with us last week to give us a brief overview about Daughters of Haiti, but I think it will be important for us to go a little deeper in that conversation. And so back with me is Daphnée Camilien of Camilien Law. Daphnée, welcome back. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm happy to be here tonight. Hi, Cyndee.
Hi, very good to see you again.
Very good to see you too as well.
Awesome, awesome. So tonight, Daphne, we're talking about leadership, okay, collaboration, as well as legacy. Kind of how do we bridge that? Especially with what Cyndee is doing with Daughters of Haiti, is like how do we promote our culture, but then do it together, okay? And then so I mean, we're just gonna have a conversation, and we just have some questions. Anything you want to add, Daphne?
No, just excited. I came in. I was listening to Cyndee talk about um, talking a little bit about daughters of Haiti and some of the upcoming projects that you have in the spring. It sounds really exciting. So I'd love to be a part of it as well.
Awesome. Thank you. We're going to take
I'm
you
going,
up on that.
I'm going yeah, I'm going to put the website so that people can go ahead and connect with Daughters of Haiti. So we have the education aspect, okay? So kind of like, and especially for maybe Haitian parents who maybe not be familiar with the education system here. So I think it's pretty helpful. And then you also talked about maybe the social, kind of like the Debonte program. I'm sorry. And then also as well that you mentioned about the culture. And then so
Mhm.
talk to us a little bit about the culture because last week I asked you about that. I went to your page and I knew not one of the women that you were teaching us about.
Uh-huh.
And so how did you come up with that idea and how did you yourselves, start to find those women? Why do you feel that it's important for women like me, other women growing up in the Haitian community to know of these powerful women who are doing amazing things or who were doing amazing things?
Well, I think it's part of our history, right? These are women who have been, who are forces in our history. They helped in the revolution, and they have been a part of us all along. When we talk about Haitian women, I think more often than not, when we talk about the greatness in Haitian women, we typically talk about modern Haitian women. We associate the celebrities. Oftentimes, we look at who's a star here and who's a star there. We talk about the beautiful Garcelle, and it's always about who's doing something now. We have Karen, who is part of the Biden administration, which is amazing and incredible, and we have judges on the East Coast, and we are doing things here and now. But we didn't just get here. We got here on the backs of great women. And when you start to research and look, and it was like, wow, I want to know more. I want to know more about these Haitian women. I want to know more about the women who helped in the Revolutionary Wars. I want to know more about the women who sewed the flag. It's important. I want to know about the literary writers. I want to know all of these things, and I think that we should all know these things. So we wanted to be able to provide, at least on a weekly basis. We certainly try to post every week. And I'm trying to pull up like this last week's greatness.
I
And
can
it
do
was
that.
Lucienne Hertelou. And she was a Haitian diplomat. And these are things that we don't necessarily see or hear about. We hear a lot about the Haitian men who were in politics. We don't hear about the women. So,
I'm going to pull it up for you so that people can see exactly who you are talking about because I mean, and I don't think a lot of people know even the Haitian, story. And then now, so not only the Haitian story, but now you're talking about deeper. Now you were talking about Haitian woman and his
mhm,
story. Okay,
mhm.
and then so that is so important. You said Lucienne.
Yeah,
We
she's. Oh, are you? Which one are you looking at? Are you on Instagram or is that? No,
no,
that's
I'm
Facebook.
on Facebook.
Yeah, because they're on both.
Oh,
So the most recent one is the one that you just pulled up right there. Yes.
okay.
And she was a warrior. This was Toya. Yeah. So it's pretty awesome to see, in my opinion.
So I'm just gonna go ahead and read the Haitian. The Do you want to read it or do you want me to read it? The
Oh, you can read it. I don't have my glasses on.
Oh, it's okay. So this week, Daughters of Haiti, Chicago Haitian Spotlight is Daughters of Haiti, Chicago Haitian Spotlight on Haitian Greatness. Gran Adbaraya Toya, woman warrior. So we still don't have enough information about Victoria Monto, known as Toya, the Haitian woman who taught the greatest warrior that ever lived how to fight in hand-to-hand combat, and how to throw a knife. Grand Toya guided the Saline in his youth, and he called her aunt. She was an extraordinary warrior and commanded her own indigenous army. We still know so little about her. We know only that she taught Dessalines the physical maneuvers of effective hand-to-hand combat, how to shoot and how to throw a knife. We know she was old because she is affectionately called Grand Toya. Imagine her life, imagine the inspiration she could be today to all young Haitian women. Imagine the inspiration she could be to the world, women and men. Amazing. Like, do you know of this woman, Daphne?
No, I had never heard of her. There's so much of our
Yeah,
history that we don't know. So,
right.
just learning, like, that's a really wonderful thing to put these out. You do it once a week?
Once a week.
Once a week, just to give people a little bit of knowledge and also like expand, because I'm the type of person, when I see something like that, I go and do a little bit more research, because I want to
Mhm.
like, I'll Google the person and I want to see other information about them. So just even bringing that to the forefront is really important.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, what was your research process like? How did you come to find out about this woman?
Well, I started researching Haitian women in history. That was literally, Google is my friend. um, and so, you start to dig and you start to look, and then, there's between Google and Wikipedia and all of the different fact checking that you do. These are the things that I come up with. And then, of course, you can look for the pictures and so forth. So not a lot of information, but just enough to at least spark your interest,
Right.
and like Daphnée said, if you are interested, you'll do your research, but at least you have a name to look for, and something, a point of reference to begin. We just want you to know that we exist, right? That there are just great women in our history. So that's the starting point. And it's important. It's important for our daughters. It's important for our granddaughters. It's important for our nieces and all of these women of Haitian descent to know that they are among greatness. Yeah.
Amazing. I have Selena Cave with us. She says, "Blessing Queens." Thank you, Selena, for joining us. Thank you to all of you who are joining us. And so right now, I know you have the. I'm sorry. No, I know you have an upcoming project, correct? Um,
The debutante ball is
yes,
our next, yeah.
it's
So
it's
our
the new
upcoming
project.
project is the debutante ball. We are actually, so we do have a board of advisors. We have like an advisory board as well. And we are looking for more advisors. So and you do not have to be Haitian to be on our advisory board. So that's not a qualification. The qualification really is to have some experience in not-for-profit and some experience in philanthropy and advancement. So to help us to drive our agendas and to drive to move forward. So actually upcoming this Sunday, we do have our advisory board strategic planning meeting for 2021. So that we can start to look at, the things that you look at during a strategic planning meeting, budgets and what are the goals, our individual committee goals, and what the budgets are going to look like for that, and how do we make that happen? What kind of fundraising efforts will we need? And so forth. So we have that. We currently have 3 advisors on our board. Our goal is to have a total of 5. And that's probably the most immediate project. But our next big event and our next big project is the debutante ball. And we're hoping that, COVID is going to die down enough that we can gather together again to celebrate these young ladies. So right now we have a group of 5 young ladies. We are hosting another information session for the debutantes. So it's not too late for any young woman to join in January. And we're hoping to have the event by midsummer at the very latest. So
What's the age, I guess, group?
So because this is our inaugural event, we've kind of expanded that from age 16 to 21. But
Okay.
ordinarily, we would like our debutantes to be anywhere from 16 to 18,
Okay.
19 maximum, the typical, debutante age. But because some young ladies might be, 20 or 21 and may still want to participate this year, we're letting them do that. So.
Amazing. And then so we are in the Haitian community, okay, in
Mhm.
Chicago. And then even last week, and Daphne, feel free to,
Oh, I
come
will.
in if
Go
you have
ahead.
any questions. I have questions. So last week we had a conversation, kind of like showcasing, like I said, the different organization. We plan to do a second one because obviously we did not have enough time to showcase everyone. Okay, so but then with that being said, like what kind of assistance or help would you like to receive, or collaboration you would like to maybe have from all the different organizations in the Haitian community to help with your vision of what you want to accomplish with Daughters of Haiti?
Wow, that's a big question. We will take all the help we can get. We will certainly take all of the advice that we can get, and all of the participation. I think ultimately what it is about support. It's about people coming out and supporting the different events that people have, the different organizations have. Just being a part of, whether it is representation through your organization or individual representation, just being there and participating. If someone calls and says, hey, I'd like you to come to this event, show up, and it's not just for me to say that, because I want everyone to come to my events. It's me saying I need to show up too, and I need to participate as well, because that's the only way that we can have, the goal, the collaboration, and the community, because ultimately that's what it's about. It is about community. So that is probably the biggest thing that I would look for as an organization. But I think overall, in general, I think that every organization is probably looking for support as well. People to just show up and be there, help fundraise, buy hats, buy T-shirts, buy these fundraising, participate in fundraising efforts, because especially when you can see the dollars being spent in the community, it's important. So
I think I would agree with you as far as supporting each other.
mhm.
I think it's very important to people understand expand what support means. Because for example, like if someone's having a fundraiser and it's $100, right, and you're like, well, I can't afford that, or I can't come, but you can share it on your Facebook page.
Exactly.
You can like it so that it gets refreshed in other people. So you may not be able to do it, but someone else might be, didn't even know about the group or organization, and would all of a sudden start being interested, and then go ahead and go. So it's spreading the word when you see something else. I'm wholeheartedly in collaboration. I think as a people, we're stronger together than separated. And so I 100% agree. Like sharing, liking, just like when you can. For example, if I can't do $100 fundraiser, but I can buy a $10 raffle ticket.
Exactly.
Something of that nature. But just when you can, do your best to support. Tell people about it. If you did know someone, I'm just gonna piggyback on your stuff. Like if you knew a young lady who was between those ages, What a wonderful opportunity. I didn't have that growing up, to be part of, a debutante ball, just letting them, telling them about it, because maybe they don't even know about it,
Right.
So yeah, that's, collaboration is huge, really huge.
So on the title, I add bridging leadership and a legacy. Okay, and I know you grew up in the Haitian community, and so what would you say is your observation from growing up in a community, in the Haitian community? Maybe I don't want to say back then to sound like you are older than you are.
Way back then when I was growing up. Before cars. But you know what? That's funny, right? I remember, here's a funny story. I'm telling my age, and I don't mind telling my age. I'm proud of my age. I love it. I'm excited about my age, by the way. I will be 50. And I'm so excited. I don't think I've ever been more excited about an age, I think I'm more excited about 50 than I was about 21.
Good for you. Happy birthday.
Yeah, it's still a few months away, God willing, but I remember when we got a microwave. Like the first, when microwaves came out. I remember when when my parents bought a microwave. That was so exciting. Don't touch it. Don't touch the microwave. But yeah, so yes. You're speaking to your elders, Reneé.
No, you're not an elder. You are not an elder. So I just would like to maybe understand, like, I'm from Haiti, so I was born in Haiti. Okay, so like I grew up half and half here in Haiti, but I just would like to understand maybe the community from when you are growing up versus the community now. Like, what do you see is the same, or and then what do you think is different, and how can we maybe be better and do better?
I think that the world is different.
Yes.
So first and foremost, what I loved about growing up here in the Chicago area as a Haitian American is that we participated. We were somewhere all the time. We were with our families all the time. You were at so-and-so's house for a dinner or for a party, and always it wasn't mom and dad going out and they'll see you later. It was, come on, everybody, we're getting in the car. You're driving an hour away because you're going so far away, and you're going to get lost for 2 hours because there was no GPS. On your way there, they had to remember how to get there. And you were always present. You were present with friends and family, and you grew up in a community where everybody was your cousin. That's what you told people, right? Because our parents' friends were family. We were with them all the time. It was a stronger sense of community. And I really miss that. And I think it's important. It's important because our kids don't have that today. My children don't necessarily have that sense of community. They don't have the friendships, the bonds, the relationships that we had or that I had. I'm still very close to my parents' friends' children, right? They're still close to me. They are still family to me. They live in the south suburbs here with me, and I see them all the time. I see them more than I see my my friends that I have made as an adult. We don't see that so much anymore because, and I think that's in part some of that assimilation, is that we allow our children, and this is me, I'm guilty. This is part of why Daughters of Haiti has come to fruition, is because I realized, wow, they don't speak French. They don't speak Creole at home. They don't even know how to, because why? I married an American and it's easier to just speak English. So now I've diluted my language, right? Not even on purpose, subconsciously, I've now diluted a language. The customs and the culture, the things that you did, the places that you went with your family. I'm not doing that with my children, or didn't. It's, oh, we'll be back later. We've assimilated into this American culture where we're just, you leave the kids at home. Haitian parents never left their kids at home. Your kids go where you go, right? And that's not the way it is now. You leave them at home, you hire a babysitter, you do this or you do that. They're not, the family foundation is not the same. That's what we need to get back to. And I think our kids need that. Our youth need that.
And then Daphnée, I have a follow up. Did you want to add anything before my follow up? Oh.
Yeah, sure. I very much grew up the same way, Cyndee. Like all my parents, like all the parties we went to as kids, were at my parents' friend's house, right? And all the kids would go play together, and that's what it was. I never remember having a babysitter ever. Yeah. So it just, but you're right. Like there's, all the kids grew up, like I said, together. You're right. I'm still in contact with some of my parents' friends' kids. When if you see them, you run across them, it's like, such a big joy to see them. But there is something, I have small children, but that's something I think about, because there's something lost. There's the culture of it. It's the music, it's the food, it's the, the stuff that, the unspoken, we all have like similar stories of how our parents act, just that's being just different. And you want, that's why like your organization, or a lot of these organizations and stuff are so important, is because how are we going to teach the next generation? How are they going to know about some of these, how important? Because if you don't, it is great to assimilate, obviously, because you're trying to move forward, right? And you cannot, you can't fully integrate yourself into a society without understanding the society, learning it, and then immersing yourself in it. That doesn't mean get rid of what your culture, but that's important too, to the experience, right?
Right.
So, but you don't want to lose yourself in that, or lose part of your culture. You need that foundation, and you need to know your background. You need to know your history. So like just participating in these type of things is so important. But yeah, very similar experience to you. Very, very similar.
Awesome. So my question, my follow up was in regards to, I know you said that, growing up, you would always go to places with your parents. So it does not matter what event it was, everybody went together. And then so now with your kids, it's not the same. Do you feel like maybe it's because of not being aware of what's going on in the community, maybe a lack of communication, or a lack of connection with the community itself?
I definitely think it's a lack of connection. You have to make a conscious effort to connect. Growing up, you didn't make a conscious effort. It was the community. It's who you were. It's what you were. It's all you knew. Why? Because your parents knew that this is where I'm going. I'm going to so-and-so's house. We're doing this, or so-and-so's birthday, such and such. There was always something. And if it wasn't one of their things, then it was a organizational event, or a bal, or something that was like a big thing, Now it's harder, because first of all, a lot of the organizational events are few and far between. And I believe that those who hosted these events, they're getting older, and that's okay. But the accountability comes in where we're not taking over. We're not helping in bridging the legacy, as you said. We're not doing that. And because we're not doing that, it's kind of fallen by the wayside. It's like, oh, you're glad to see them, but nobody's trying to pull it all together. And it's easier to just not. We get inundated with our day-to-day. You're living your life. You're doing what you do every single day. You get up, you go to work, you go to school, you've got to take your kids to school. They have soccer, they have volleyball, they have cheerleading, they have piano, and we have assimilated to the degree where not only are our children our lives, but their activities are our lives as well. And so the culture sits on the back burner.
I would add to that too, that Chicago's a very, I think, not that I've been everywhere, but I think it's different, and it's a unique city, and Illinois is a unique state as far as like we are a beautiful melting pot, and we have so many different cultures here, but we also are very separate, right? And so that's with like neighborhoods and areas, and like because we're talking specifically about Haitian people, because we're of Haitian descent, you have a north side, a south side situation where you have a large population of south side, large population north side, north suburbs, south suburbs, etc. And people often are doing their own thing, but there's no central like thing. There's no central board. There's no central thing that we all know what's going on, or we come together, once a year, wherever it is, and we all meet and gather. Versus you have other places like a Florida that's huge population, and they do stuff, and they do stuff. You got New York, you got the East Coast, you got that Boston, New York, New Jersey, all those people. They do stuff, and it's like Chicago, unfortunately, they do stuff, but in little pockets. And so your group does, someone's group does something, and 50 people or 100 people. There's thousands of us here.
Right.
There's thousands of us here. So it's quite interesting. It would be great to, I don't know how do we bridge, like
that's what I was going to ask you. Well, how do we get these thousands? Right. How do we get these thousands together? This is this is the $1 million question.
Right. Reneé, no.
It's possible. I mean, it will take work, okay? It will take collaboration, and it will take leadership. And when I say leadership, I don't just mean one person. I mean everyone, taking leadership and helping everyone to connect. Because at the end of the day, if we are able to, and then like you guys just said, there's thousands and thousands of us. And then, I just went to Walmart today, and I met a Haitian person, just really. Okay. And then, so which means, and then I've never met him before. I've been living here for 20 years. And then, so which means we are here, but we just need leadership to help connect one another. And it's possible because when we have, I can assume we have at least more than 15 organizations. Okay. And then if at least those 15 organizations are in communication or in connection with at least 100 people, that's 1,500 people. Okay. Right. And on average, every person knows on average 25 people. So that's 1,500 times 25. You do the math, Cyndee. Even I'm in finances, I'm not going to do this.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
You get my point. And then, so ideally, we had the conversation, like we showcased people last week. We want to continue to have this conversation, but not only in a small group, but also in a maybe a more intimate, group with each other to say, okay, how can all of us be in connection with who everyone knows? Because at the end of the day, if we connect with each other, we can do so much more impact than when we stay in our own bubble.
Yes.
And it's possible, and it will happen. Do you want to add something, Daphnée, or any question? I have Natalie from Miami. Hello, Natalie. How's it going? Thank you for joining us. And then she has, she said, hello, ladies from Miami. Join us. Clay Haitian Sisterhood. Let's connect. Yes. I'm actually part of that group, Natalie. Maybe that's a conversation we can have as well, because kind of see how our other communities are doing it, and then see what we can learn from the experience. I think our challenge is the Midwest, and not only Chicago, but kind of like bridging, within the Midwest. It's possible. We just have to collaborate, and we have to bring our leadership skills, and everybody has to be in it. Anything you want to add, Cyndee or Daphnée?
No, I would agree with you. I think it's going to take strong leadership, but from a group of people, and because, like I said, one person can't do it. But I think it is really important. That's something that we've all discussed, and that's something that's been on our minds, because I don't understand why it's stronger, especially when you go other places and you're like, whoa, this is how it could be. When you see, events like, Haitian Ladies Network, when they have their national meeting, you had hundreds and hundreds of women there, which is wonderful, from all over the United States, and they were doing great things. And there's so many of us doing wonderful work. So I just imagine if we all got together, and just, sky's the limit to all the things that we could accomplish to help people, not just talking about Haiti, but help people in our backyard, help our neighbor,
Right.
help each other,
Right.
to be successful in this life.
I mean,
Sorry.
with the education aspect that you're doing, Cyndee, with Daughters of Haiti, I mean, it's so helpful, because sometimes people may know like what other pathways are there, and then so especially with the student loans crisis going on right now, but to actually know of organization, and I'm sure you guys gonna be able to go so far. Well, if we can imagine, if we can all come together and now support Daughters of Haiti with providing scholarship, so there's
Right.
a lot that's a lot that we can do. So I'm happy that we are having this conversation, and I'm looking forward to showcasing the next group of Haitian organization, and then definitely looking forward to everybody coming together and have a conversation about how we can go ahead and be on the same page. Obviously, everybody gonna do their own thing, but then how can we come together, collaborate, and support one another? And that same thought, last week we had um, Dr. Fabienne Francois with us from Shy, and part of what we want to do is to continue to support. So Shy is gonna be having the event this Saturday.
Saturday night.
Okay, it's this Saturday. So I just wanted to go ahead and remind you all of that. And it is a free event. You don't have to pay to get in. So the first step to prove that we can connect and we can collaborate and that we can be leaders is to let's go ahead and support Shy. Um, it's right there. Let me see if I click on that, what will happen. Are you guys still seeing my page? Yep, it's right here.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, good, good. Like I said, it's free. You just register. They're doing amazing work in Haiti. And so I'm sorry, I said Shy, Concerned Haitian Americans of Illinois. Okay. And so it's 6:30. It's this Saturday from 6:30 to 9 p.m. and it's virtual. It's free, it's virtual. So if you have the time, let's go ahead and support. But even if you don't have the time, go ahead and share it. That's what we're saying right now. There's so many ways that we can support, share, donate. Even if you cannot come and if you want to make a donation, you can still do that. What else? This is the link to donate, and you can enter to win an Apple Watch. Okay. So, but you have to register to enter to win the Apple Watch. So I just wanted to put it out there for you guys to know. It's a virtual gala. Really, typically Chai has a live gala, and everybody has really beautiful events in the Haitian community. So we know how to put beautiful events together. We do. But unfortunately, with what COVID is doing this year, then they had to do it virtually.
I will have to say just real quick about Shy. I've been to an event of theirs before a couple years ago that was in person. I haven't gone. They do go on a trip every year to distribute medical supplies. I haven't had the honor to do it, but I actually know people who've done it in the past. This is a real organization, and they really give out medical supplies. So it's, your money, because you don't know nowadays, right? Like, so people have stuff and you don't actually know, like, do they really do this? Yes, they really do this. It's something that's relied upon in the community. And so I would, if anybody is interested, I would just implore people to sign up and to check it out, even if it's for a couple minutes, and really support, because this is, like I said, I know myself, I I don't just give to anything, right? And so if I do give to, or participate, I want to know, where's my money going to? Are they really actually going to use it for what they say they are? And they do. So that's my plug for Shy.
Awesome. So with 846, I don't want to end without showcasing Daughters of Haiti website. I know we did that last week, but I'm gonna do it again. And I love doing this. Give me a second. Boom, 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 boom. So I know we talked about Daughters of Haiti being national. Is that what we said last week?
We're looking to be national. We're starting here, like I had mentioned. I've reserved like the domains for it to be national. And the logo is actually the logo, so which will be, ultimately a national logo with the name of, whatever the city is right underneath it. That's the goal. That's the long term, the bigger vision of the organization. But for here and now, we really want to focus on the Chicagoland area and just being able to impact the community, the young women, the women in the community. So.
Wonderful.
So I know last week was Giving Tuesday, but it's never too late.
Never too late.
And it is never too late. So if you feeling the holiday spirit, you're feeling generous, you want to donate to a organization which is promoting the Haitian culture, promoting women excellence, helping to help women go to the next level, go ahead and visit the website. And I'm sure you already know it's gonna go to amazing work. So with that being said, don't forget the debutant program is still on, and you still have time to participate. So if you can share it with somebody that you know, share it with a young woman that you know is between 16 and 21. I'm trying to stop this. Yeah. Anything else you all want to add?
Yeah, I just wanted to touch on the fact that we're changing the format of our show a little bit. In the past, I'm an attorney. Reneé does financial services, and we've focused primarily on those two. And we will still talk about those type of issues in the future, but we're expanding our show so that we can include different topics that interest us and interest the people out there. Like tonight, talking about collaboration, talking about, bridging the gap. What can we do for, things that really touch us is what we're interested in. So yeah, so we're changing it. So, 1 week we could talk about immigration, another week we could talk about insurance or financial services or entrepreneurship or women, etc. So I just wanted to let the audience know that we're changing a little bit. We'll still be here every Wednesday, but our topics will be a little bit different.
Which is fine, because we want to be broad. We want to be able to showcase anyone that we want to, because this is not about me, it's not about Daphnée, it's about us bringing value to the community. So whether that's being sharing, an amazing group such as Daughter of Haiti of Chicago with you all, so you can know, this is what's going on in the community, why not? And then this is all part of being a leader. This is all about collaboration, and this is all about uplifting one another. So Cyndee, it was a pleasure having you with us. Amazing work with what you do of Daughters of Haiti of Chicago. We look forward to support as much as we can, and definitely you're always invited. So
thank you.
If you have to promote anything, you let us know. And I know you said you have a newsletter as well that people can stay connected with Daughters of Haiti. So how can people sign up for that so they can be on the loop of what's going on?
So right on our website, if you are a first-time visitor, there's a pop-up that takes your name and your email address. And so that is actually the list of people that will receive the newsletter. In addition to that, of course, we share it on our social media, and we just ask that everybody shares it, just like we were talking about before. Like and share, like and share. It's a digital newsletter, and we would like to, kind of in the spirit of our last conversation, is incorporate events that other organizations are, doing as well, to just be able to at least share what's happening in our community to everyone, to our audience as well.
So you are extending the olive, the olive leaf, or the,
Exactly, extending the olive branch here. So if there is any news,
extending
if
the
there's
olive branch.
updates, something exciting that's happening, I mean, we want to celebrate our community. You want to celebrate, all of the great things. I know that people don't necessarily want to hear, or see and read highlights about our board of directors, for example, every week. I would love to highlight, somebody that is doing something in the Haitian community, or an event that is, a particular event in the Haitian community, or something. It's about us, and it's what we make it. So
It is about us. Captive Robert from Canada says hello. So we in Miami, we in Canada.
worldwide.
So we are worldwide. So thank you to all those who are joining. She said so true. Yeah, definitely. It's good that we, uplift one another, collaborate with each other, and definitely stay connected. Because at the end of the day, we can do so much more when we come together and when we share our resources. And when I mean sharing our resources, it's about, sharing our people. Because at the end of the day, if you are doing something, and I may have I have a 7-year-old, if I'm not part of your organization, but then I still want to find out about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then so therefore that's resources. People are resources. So let's do it, Chicago. Let's do it, the Haitian community. She says so happy to hear great things about our people. Yes. Daughters of Haiti is doing an amazing job teaching us about ourselves. Thank you.
Thank
I want
you.
to end with Daphnée and Cyndee. Before we, your last, I guess, memo or last thought for the audience.
I just wanted to say thank you for coming on, and as we get closer to the debutante ball, make sure you come back and pub it again, and we'll go ahead and make sure we tell the audience. And I hope this is the first of many conversations, and hopefully collaborations in the future.
I look forward to it. I look forward to it. Thank you guys for having me today, ladies. I appreciate it. I really do.
Thank you so much. So we want to end with Pepperty says we have to use our model, l'union
That's right.
fait la force.
That's
And
right.
unity, there is strength.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that is a challenge. That is a turn that we have as people in nation. We can be the example. We can be the blueprint that collaboration can happen, that we can do great things together, and that so other communities can go ahead and do the same. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. This was live in conversation with my lovely co-host Daphnée Camilien from Camilien Law. So if you need anything pertaining to law, you can always reach out to her. Let me give you a little shout out, Daphnée. 847-410-9022. So especially the end of the year is here. So if you wanna, put your legal stuff together, whether that be, making sure that your family is protected, to will, trust, and all of that, go ahead and reach out to Daphnée. And obviously, I'm an entrepreneur in the financial services area. If you want to protect yourself as well, protect your income, protect your family, go ahead and reach out to me at 312 547 1990. 312-547-1990. Cyndee, I know you are an entrepreneur as well. Anything that you would like to share or promote at this time?
I think we've done it already, and I appreciate all of the time. I mean, Daughters of Haiti right now is my baby, so that is probably the most important project that I'm working on. So I certainly appreciate the time. It made me think of something that I hear all the time: is if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
Mm.
Let's go together,
Let's
everyone.
go
Have a
together.
great evening. Reneé Antoine signing out. See you next Wednesday at 8 p.m. and live in conversation with Reneé Antoine and Daphnée Camilien. Thanks,
Bye.
Thank
everyone.
you. Good night. Thank you.
Bye.